Hiya, welcome everybody to my channel, Latif's Inspired. Today I'll be cooking a chicken tikka dansak. It's highly requested dish, especially by Chris Lazaro. He's personally messaged me on my Facebook as well as my channel. So hopefully this one's for you, mate. Chicken tikka dansak. Sweet, spicy and a bit of sour to it. It's a traditional Mughal dish, but I'm going to be cooking it the British Indian restaurant style. Thank you. Right, the main ingredient to this dish is the lentils. So I've boiled some lentils in a bit of water, obviously, some onions, some garlic, and we're going to use this for our dansak. Normally we would cook it into the curry, but because it's the Indian restaurant style, we've sort of cooked it, boiled the lentils, and then we're going to add it to the curry. So the ingredients are, I'm going to firstly talk about the spices. So I'm going to use, because it's a spicy dish, so 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/2 teaspoon of coriander, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of curry powder. That's going to be my spice mix, guys. And this is the boiled lentils. And I'm going to be using, obviously, chicken tikka. Now I'm going to bring a sweet and sour to it. Obviously the sugar brings the sweetness. I'm also going to use some pineapple. These are just the rings of pineapple. It works best in curries. If you got seasonal pineapples, nice and sweet, use them by all means. Wedge of lemon and coriander. Right. So 1 spoon of vegetable ghee is melted now. So I'll be using a little bit of ginger, so a pinch of ginger, about 1.5 teaspoon of garlic. I'm going to be using a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to use some kasuri methi leaves. Now it's heated up in the vegetable ghee, it's caramelizing nicely. Using 1 teaspoon of tomato puree. Pan is very hot. I'm going to put the gas down slightly. Now this is where all the magic happens. The spices go in. I have to cook it in the hot oil or ghee, so the rawness of the spices and the smells go, and it just livens up the flavour. So that's the spices. Now 1 teaspoon of the boiled lentils, that goes in. I'm also going to add a very nice wedge of lemon. So squeeze out the juice, get the sourness out. There's a little pip that's gone in there, so I'll take out the pip. Give that a nice mix. I'll put the gas a bit down. I'm going to use the ring of pineapple. A little bit of syrup there. Liven up all the flavours. Now I normally use about a breast of chicken per portion, so it works out to be about 8 pieces. Depends on my tandoori chef. Sometimes he makes these chicken massive, which I don't like. I like it more like a bite-sized. Well, this is slightly bigger than bite-sized, but depends how big your mouth is. So 1 ladle of my base gravy and a tad more. Now I'm going to put the gas up. And let this cook. want the juices from the lemon, the sweetness of the pineapple. It's got the sugar in there. You want all the flavors to come out, marry up together. So it's going to be beautiful. It's already starting to boil. Now, this is optional, guys. For a bit of flavor, add a few green chilies and a bit of coriander. Now, as you may be aware, I don't like it splashing, so I put this lid on. I'm going to let this simmer for a few minutes. It's literally been about a minute. I just want to show you how the heat and it's bubbling away. Look at that. Now, this is how it becomes a proper curry. So we take loads of shortcuts, guys, in the Indian restaurant. So obviously I pre-boiled the lentils, I've made a braised gravy, so these just makes life easier for me and quicker for me to cook the curry. So literally few minutes, 3-4 minutes, and this dish will be out in the restaurant, to be honest with you. So that didn't take much long. So the quality of preparation is in the quality of the product. That's what I would say. So give this a few more minutes. I just want the sauce to get sort of like that custard consistency, and then you know that's how most of the general public in British Indian restaurant like it. Nice and thick sauce, so they're basically reduced down. So that's why I say when you make the base gravy, make it like a single cream consistency. So the more you cook it, the more flavors actually goes in. So the more it gets reduced, as general rule of thumb, it's maximized in flavor. The intensity is more. So there. So a few minutes, because the sauce is nice and thin, and then it should be ready. Right, so it's been cooking about 2.5, coming towards 3 minutes, and I'm going to check up on the thickness. Wow, now that's beautiful. As you can see, the thick bubbles over here. Like I said, it's like a sort of custard consistency. So I'm not saying everyone's a good custard maker, but even if you get the shop bought custard and you heat it up in the pan, now this is absolutely gorgeous. Nice and thick. It's almost sticking to my spoon. Now I know it's ready. So I'm going to put this on slow gas, and I'm going to start packing it up. Pineapple, wedge of lemon. Gorgeous sauce. Garnish it with a bit of coriander. Nice chili for presentation. Chicken, Tikka, Dansak. Right, so that's a chicken Tikka Dansak. I hope you've enjoyed it, especially Chris. You requested it, you've been very patient, and I hope this is going to do you justice. If you follow how I've cooked the dish, I personally will tell you it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Again, if you don't know how to boil the dal, the lentil, if you do some requests, again I'll show you how the Tikka dal is done and how we use this pre-boiled dal into the curry. Now, if you really enjoyed this and found the tips nice and helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for tuning in.